You all set. Here we go.
Hey, hi, howdy, everybody, and welcome to Zenith. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry, my Twitch was making noise. Anyway, hey, hi, howdy, everyone. Welcome to Zenith Session 6, The Queen's Gambit. We're so happy to share this fine Thursday night with y'all. Zenith is a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons actual play live stream, and yeah, we're here to play some Dungeons and Dragons and hang out with everyone. We are going to quickly go around the table, introduce ourselves real quick, have a couple of announcements, and then hop right in. Before we get to that, we are down 2 players. One will be joining later, another sadly will not be joining us this week. And yeah, uh, that's all that comes to mind. Hello, everybody. My name is Alex. I will be your GM for the night, and I'm excited to bring you session 6.
Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek. I'll be playing Eris, one of our lovely rogues. Yeah, this will be interesting.
Hi, I'm Seth. I'll be playing Vesper, our other less lovely rogue.
Excellent. Quick couple of notes before we begin. Sorry, I lost my. We're doing great, y'all. Okay, the incentives associated with Zenith are being donated to the PCRF, the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. In lieu of receiving financial compensation ourselves for putting on this show, we are directing any money that is donated for incentives, giving advantage, giving criticals, etc., to that organization. The PCRF has been providing medical care to children in Palestine and the Levant area since 1991. And by donating, you not only get to see cool, exciting shit happen in the story, but you also get to donate to a good and valuable cause in the world. Additionally, before we begin tonight's session, I want to acknowledge that this Zenith is a story of revolution and resistance, and at this point in time, that resonates with real-world events in a way that many of us are still processing. Zenith's story explores themes of power, resistance, and change. And it's important to remember that this is a space for collaborative storytelling and imagination. We are not here to prescribe solutions or stand behind any specific actions that occur in this Dungeons and Dragons game. Instead, we are telling a story that offers us and y'all a safe space to explore complex themes and emotions through the lens of fantasy. I also want to encourage viewers who might find themselves in a place where they can't enjoy a story like this due to the circumstances that we are in. That's completely valid and understandable. If stories of upheaval in this way feel too close to home, please take care of yourselves first. Whether that means stepping away, muting, or engaging only in parts of the session, your health, your safety, that comes first. Now, with that said, allow me to share with you a perspective. When the magisterial guard moves through the streets of Zenith, they do not march, they glide. Their boots barely whisper against the cobblestone. Their enchanted armor gleams with an unnatural sheen. They do not brandish weapons or shout commands. They do not have to. Their very presence is violence enough. A promise written in steel and magic that says we are the law, and the law is absolute. But tonight, something has changed. Tonight, their boots thunder against the street. Tonight, their spells crack the air like lightning, and their voices rise harsh and desperate over the evening crowds. Tonight, they pursue their quarry with such naked aggression that none can ignore the truth that has always lived in the shadow of power. The magisterium rules not through wisdom or right, but through force. Eris, Vesper, as the magisterium chase you through these familiar streets turned strange by darkness and fear, you feel something change. In doorways and windows, faces appear, eyes watch, people remember. The people of Zenith see the mask of civility slip and see the raw fury of an authority challenged. They see and they understand what a delicate thing power is, how quickly it can unravel when its true nature is exposed to the light. What kind of revolution begins with a chase through darkened streets? Maybe the only kind that ever could. Eris and Vesper, you have recently waylaid a necromancer's caravan towards the magisterial tower. You were able to get away before anyone spotted you, but the sound of the pursuing guard behind you has not gone down. What is it like as you hear their footsteps thundering across the ground in your direction?
Another day on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, yeah, that pretty much sums it up for Eris as well. Just feels right at home.
All
I
right.
don't know that Vesper would be making a connection between this is another job. This is the consequences of that job. And is maybe not looking at this through like a macro lens necessarily.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. So you continue fleeing into the night, and you still hear the guard behind you. Sorry, got lost there for a second. You still hear the guard behind you. Like, what are you doing as you run? Like, there are people like gaining on you. What's the move? Do you stay together? Do you split up? Do you take to the roofs?
I don't know that actually let me think a little bit about what happened last time, right? Like we kind of did battle, we kind of came together to like split up the loot.
Yes.
I don't know that actually I'm pretty sure that Vesper has no interest in getting caught in general. So I think that if they're gaining, the move I think on his part would be, if any acknowledgement at all towards Eris, it would be just kind of like maybe like a head nod to the alleys, and he is probably going to assume that it's harder for them to chase two people than, you know, people together.
Absolutely.
And would probably more err towards splitting up.
Sure.
I think Eris would probably come to the same kind of conclusion. Like, she's had to, like, in her job, she's had to run from guards before, and she's had to work in groups before, so definitely the idea of splitting up to make capture a little bit harder for the guard is definitely the first kind of thought that comes to her mind as well, from a tactical standpoint, kind of.
Absolutely. And for this mission, you were joined by, at this point in time, Kamar, who, covered in their wraps, is seemingly having the absolute time of his life, fleeing from the law, as it were. So let's actually quickly roll initiative and see how this chase plays out.
Dice are
Success.
Let's see here. Okay, character sheet. Let's go. 14.
14, all right.
Clear my dice tray really quick. That. Character sheet, don't fail me now.
This music slaps, by the way.
What was that, 9?
A 9.
All right. So we have Vesper, the guard, then Eris. For the sake of this, let's say the guard starts 90 feet away. And for reference, the people you see now are common foot soldiers. Common, non-magical, just people in armor. Vesper, you're up first. There are guard about 90 feet behind you. You are on a wide cobblestone thoroughfare with buildings on each side. Alleys between these buildings of various sizes sort of poke at the gaps between buildings. Where are you headed?
You mean as far as broadly in a specific direction?
Yeah, broadly. I have in mind where this is going to end up, but
Probably the ballroom.
Probably
The ballroom, I think. It's not a good idea to go home. The bar seems like a terrible idea. But the ballroom is open, as he has been informed, so I think that would be his destination.
All right, absolutely. And how are you getting there? Are you taking alleyways, taking rooftops, or just running real fast through the streets?
Running real fast through the streets.
Absolutely. Let's fucking do it.
Maybe the odd alleyway, but mostly just the fastest way to any point is a straight line.
All right, absolutely. You take to the streets and just begin sprinting. So I'm assuming you're just like using your action and bonus action probably to dash. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, absolutely. So the guard have reduced or increased rather from 90 feet behind you to 30 feet. 30-foot dash, 30-foot bonus action dash to 180 feet behind you. So as this just like wall of muscle and steel begins approaching you, you in your light armor with no one that you need to like keep close for detention, take off. Sprint into the night and gain a good bit of distance from the wall of guard behind you. Eris, you are not so fortunate as the guard continue to advance in your direction, and you see Vesper just begin to outpace you, at least in terms of getting off the line. The guard really don't have anyone else to look at in the moment. And so, unfortunately, you are going to be fielding some crossbow bolts. What's your armor class?
That is going to be a 15.
I mean, now I
right.
feel bad.
I mean, it's nice to be the center of attention.
All right, so you take 1, 2. All right, so you take 2 crossbow bolts. Combined, they deal 12 points of damage. So as you begin to take off, bam, bam, into your back somewhere. Nowhere lethal, but definitely. They're on the offensive.
Clearly, yeah.
And the guard advance. They don't have a bonus action dash, but they are now 60 feet behind you, give or take.
60 feet. Okay. Given how close they are, I think Eris is also going to essentially book it, like with all haste, with all haste possible.
All right, absolutely. So you book it with all haste. I'm assuming that's action dash, bonus action dash?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you open up that gap from 60 feet to a respectable 150 feet of distance. Anything else you're doing on your turn?
I think Eris is going to look around. Like you mentioned that the streets are probably like, how barren are the streets, like roughly?
The streets are pretty empty. It's roughly around 11 o'clock at night, if I remember correctly. Okay. So while you might be able to find other people in, say, a bar or a cloud den, you're not likely to find a crowd in the streets.
Okay. I think Eris will probably make her way to like probably like the nearest like at least bar that looks very crowded, at least. That way she can probably lose some of her pursuers in there.
All right, excellent. You take off and you catch a sign dangling in the wind, swinging for Cloud9. This is the city's most popular cloud den. This is where people go to consume cloud, a drug that induces visions. And after your quick 90-foot sprint in the span of 6 seconds, down this way, That's what appears to you. The door is maybe 30 feet from you
Okay,
at the
so-
end of this
yeah.
turn.
She'll make a note to probably head in there then. Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So as we are running, we get back to Vesper. So, Vesper, you are running and you feel confident that you are giving these folks the slip. You don't see any way they can catch up to you, and at this point, you're honestly, actually, you're getting to be outside of their crossbow range, which is ostensibly good news for you until you see up ahead essentially a checkpoint. There are a few guards stationed just like walking around looking in the direction that you are heading on the street that is most central to heading to the ballroom.
That's fine. I have a ring of invisibility.
All right, are you gonna pop that off?
Yeah, I'm gonna pop
Uh,
that off.
absolutely. That
I don't care
requires.
if they see me. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sure. That requires an action, right?
I believe so, yes. It doesn't
right.
tell me.
Okay, now I'm gonna.
Hold on.
It lets you cast the invisibility spell, correct?
Yes, and then blah, 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 blah. Yes, as an action, I see. Sorry, yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, you are running and oh shit. You are able to grab the ring and sort of twist it a little bit and you become invisible. It's surreal and disorienting in a way. This is no way for a person, a human being who's supposed to see themselves in the world. There's no way for you to live. But it gets the job done. You're able to. They clock you. The guards look at you and then gone. And you are able to run essentially right past them as they just shout in confusion and frustration. Vanished! What the fuck? I'm assuming you're bonus action dashing?
Yeah, I'm not. I want to think. I like to think of him as very tempted to fuck with these people.
Mm-hmm.
But I looked at my inventory. I don't have anything fun to use at this exact moment, so I will have to just let it be for now and continue trying to make my way to the ballroom.
All right, excellent.
Probably
So-
like back alleys if they exist.
All right. So you are taking back alleys?
For I think for this point, yeah, just because like, oh, there's a checkpoint here. Maybe there are more up ahead and like some of the more well-known streets, regardless of me being invisible, you know, anything that I could do to mitigate trouble.
Absolutely. So while you are running, then you are able to just zoom kind of past this checkpoint, and you see an alleyway, a little shortcut that you could probably take at the beginning of your next turn to begin to save some time. So it is now the guard's turn. Abhishek, or Eris rather, you catch this first as this wall of guards and fighters behind you slowly fades into the dark. Above you, a black cloaked figure on a broom just zips right past you. Evidently, the wizards are out to play at this point. They don't seem to clock you, or they don't seem to be interested in you at this point. However, Seth, or Vesper, I apologize. You notice something. Even while invisible, some stuff that is in your possession begins to glow.
Oh shit.
A spell book and the half-eaten body of a toad that, if I remember correctly, you were in possession of at the end of
I did not have the frog.
Okay.
I think that was Kamar. I
If I
want to
could
say that was Kamar who took
Get
it.
myself out of this really quick.
I do remember you got the
I
spell
don't think
book, though.
I do think I have the spell book.
Mhm. So that in your stuff begins to glow. You can even see it while invisible. Go ahead and make me like an Arcana check real quick.
All right, Finn, my love. Oh God, what is Finn? What is? I dropped it. I'll roll again. Hold on.
Sure.
You need to go, my love. Sorry. Where's my other 20? Okay. Oops. Oh shit. Plus Yeah, dirty 20.
Dirty
Ooh.
20, that'll do
I'm
it
using
for
this
sure.
die.
So, you know two things. One, someone is casting the spell Locate Object on the spellbook. Two, the glow, while useful in identifying where that thing is actually not the main method of tracking. The wizard who is concentrating on the spell just knows where it is. The glow is just a visible sign that that's working. So, someone's tracking you. Someone's on your tail. And I'll say, you probably hear behind you the rush of air, and if you were to turn, you would see this black-clad figure clutched tight on a broom of flying.
Sounds bad.
And Eris, we are up to you.
So, upon seeing the Cloud9 sign, Eris is going to... So, first of all, you mentioned that how far have the fighters advanced? I forgot to hear that part.
How far are you ahead of the fighters?
Yeah, roughly right now after their turn.
About 150 feet, which is outside the range of most creatures' dark vision. Unless there's magic or a couple of drow among them, which is unlikely given just, like, socio-political factors.
Right,
They're probably, for all intents and purposes, invisible, or at least very difficult to spot.
Okay, perfect. In that case, Eris is going to, one, take an action to disguise herself.
Absolutely.
So I'll post a visual reference for you so that you can see what I'm essentially going to be doing.
For sure. Does this appearance that you're taking have an identity associated with it? Or you are coming into Cloud9 as a person? Or
Yes.
just... Okay, interesting.
Yes. So, as Eris sort of shapeshifts, you watch as her body, this noticeably tanned skin of hers, starts to lighten in complexion, and her eyes start to become more sunken in and hollow, almost sort of gaunt looking. And she sort of unfurls her coat, kind of revealing like the dark shirt underneath, and sort of just lets it hang off her shoulders, and pulls out a cigarette from her hands and almost just basically starts smoking as if on instinct at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for that, she'll make her way into Cloud9.
For sure. You are able to adopt this disguise, and then with more sort of casual flair than probably is warranted by the situation, you're able to just pop into the establishment like nothing is happening. You stroll on in, and it is a busy Cloud Den. There are folks all over the place, some at a main central bar, others gathered around tables. Most people are talking, but some people are in the throes of having a vision. These people look like just completely glazed over, obviously somewhere else. Some people appear to be just like passed out at a table, but it's difficult to say whether or not they're passed out or just experiencing something.
Yeah.
So yeah. Action to
head inside, yeah.
Head to change form, and movement to head inside. You are greeted by Tealian Ray. This is the owner of the establishment. He's a half-elf man, maybe 50, 60, something around that. Young by half-elf standards, for sure. You would know him as one of the most well-connected individuals in the city. He just nods in your direction as you come in.
Just kind of give a nod back, just be like...
And I will say a couple more folks like filter in and filter out during this time. Cloud9 is popular and busy. Any bonus actions for us?
Let's see.
Vesper, you're on deck.
I think she wants to use... She'll probably see... Let me see if I can use my... I think she'll probably see if she can use her cunning action to essentially hide, in the sense of blending in amongst the populace, in case guards do come inside.
Absolutely. So go ahead and make me a stealth check. This will be using your charisma modifier instead of your dexterity. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
All right.
My charisma. Oh, that's pretty good, actually, so I'll take that. Alright. Luckily,
And what does this look like? Do you just like filter in and sit at the bar? Do you start up a conversation?
she'll definitely sit at the bar and probably ask the bartender to just basically like slide her over a drink. Like,
You asking for Cloud?
later.
Sure.
She needs to get into the right mindset for that, especially after her last experience with Cloud.
Absolutely. You can drop a couple of silver for a spirit of some variety.
Yeah. So let's do that. And that, math, don't fail me here, is a 25.
25, let me break a roll for the public. Unless it's a natural 20, they're not likely to catch you, and they don't. So you're able to slip in, and you feel like you're not really clocked by anyone. This is pretty standard, given your abilities. And Vesper, we are back up to you. You see a very inviting darkened alley off to your right, maybe 20 feet away. But you also know that you are being tracked by a wizard in the sky. What are you up to?
So, can you explain to me again, like the glow thing? It's not the item that's being tracked, correct? That's just
It is. The
Okay.
spell book that you picked up is being tracked. It's
Okay.
glowing, but the glow is not necessarily what tells the caster of its location. That's
I see what
just
you mean.
an indication the spell is working.
Just that they don't have to see the glow to know where it is. Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So I'm coming up on an alleyway
Mhm.
from like the main street.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm chucking that spell book onto
ditching
the
it.
street. Fuck that. I want to see if I can I really want to set it on fire first.
All right, absolutely.
I
That'll
have
be
a tinder box in my stuff.
So that'll for sure cost an action.
That's fine.
But
I want to light it on fire.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure what check would even be associated with this, but I do feel
I'll roll
like
something,
in the
yeah.
moment. Do you have any spells or anything aside from the tinderbox that you would like to do this by?
I don't think so. All I have is I have fairy fire and I have dancing lights, and that's it. I'm
Yeah,
not a magical being.
Unfortunately, neither of those will do it. And I'll also tell you that
If I don't have time to set it on fire, I still want to ditch it.
you might not have time to burn it completely. You will
that's
certainly
fine.
have time to set it on fire.
That's all. I don't want to wait for it to be engulfed. I just want to like set it alight and throw it, and then go the other way.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. This will be. Let's call it a sleight of hand check to fut the tinderbox, and also. Yeah, while you're running.
Sure, yeah.
Let's call this a DC 20. This feels like something that's difficult to do at full sprint.
Okay, I got some sleight of hand. Let's see if it pays off with my chunky die. That is a 17.
That is a 17, so that will not do it. You're not able to light this thing with your action. You pull out essentially, at this point, probably a book of matches or something similar and strike something, and it just in the wind.
That's fine. I just want to drop it then.
Sure, you drop
in the street.
You drop M's spellbook. As it leaves your possession, it becomes visible.
And then I want to just like pivot and start to go down that alleyway.
Absolutely. I'm assuming bonus action dash?
To dash, yes, exactly.
Yes, sure thing. So you drop the spellbook, it lands on the cobblestones with a book-like thud, and you continue your fleeing into this tight, narrow, darkened alleyway. And yeah, that's all you got, right? Movement, bonus action, action?
Yeah, that's everything. I think what went through his mind is just like, oh, you want this? I'm going to make it unusable if I can. But plan B is just don't get caught, so.
All right, absolutely. So at this point, I'm going to say that you both encounter the guard in a different way on initiative count 10. Abhishek, as you were sitting there, chilling out in Cloud9, a couple of people have entered, a couple of people have left. the door pops open, and two people in this sky blue and bronze armor sort of step in, and everyone clocks them. The Magisterium, while on duty, they don't come around here. And they begin poking around, asking questions, until eventually one of them makes over to the bar, and standing right beside you, looks at the owner, Telia and Ray, and says, anyone come through here recently? There's been a crime in the area. We're looking for a suspect. The owner looks at them, stone-faced. Haven't noticed anything unusual. And this goes on for a little bit. Do you do anything while you're here? You're muted.
Muted, my love.
I'm muted. She's gonna ask for another drink.
You asked for another drink? Sure. While the guard and the owner are having this kind of like stare down where it's not clear whether the owner knows something is up. He just like kind of keeping eye contact with the guard, pours you a drink and sends it your way.
If he does that slide across the bar, she'll probably just catch it casually and just start.
Go ahead and make me like a charisma saving throw just to keep your cool.
Okay, I can do that.
Charisma to look cool. I love it.
Why not? Yeah.
Speaking of a DC 12, you're
DC 12. All right.
Yeah, you're in someone else's body, right? You got no reason to be.
Yeah.
Psyched
Oh yeah,
out.
that's an 18. Yeah.
18. That'll do it. You know you have no reason to be psyched out. You know that even if they spot you, you could be someone else. You could be anyone else. You're fucking invisible. Who gives a shit? You sit there and drink.
She's like almost like in her mind, like, I dare you to talk to me right now.
Mhm.
It's like
You sit there and drink. It's nice. It tastes good. It's a wonderful night.
What does Eris drink?
Yeah, what is Irish
Ooh.
drink?
well, technically this isn't exactly Eris, I should say.
I'm
This-
Fair
sorry.
enough,
What does
fair enough.
Eris's current persona drink?
So her current persona's name is Jess, by the way. So she is definitely more of like a just like whiskey on the rocks girl.
That's the fucking move.
Yeah. So this is just like it's just straight whiskey, ice, and just tips it back. Nothing like it for Jess.
You knock one back like a fucking pro. So that's what Eris experiences of the guard. Vesper, not quite so fortunate. The wizard on the broom zooms past the spell book that you dropped and shouts something back to the other guards. Grab it! And continues to head vaguely in your direction. You're still... What's the range on see invisibility? Zipper's from probably like 90, 100 feet up in the air. No range. And so, given the fact that they have reason to believe that you're just invisible, the book dropped out of nowhere, and they saw it moving kind of like where you were going, they can't see invisibility. And continue heading directly above you in your direction. That's their action, so they're not going to do much else, but yeah. That was the guard. Eris, you are up.
So while she's sort of kind of just sitting there sipping her drink, Eris, while she's kind of in the mindset of being Jess, she's probably just gonna kind of casually listen in on as to what the Magisterium and the guard are sort of talking about, because she's nosy, of course.
For sure.
And plus, what's a little chance to send them in the wrong direction entirely if it calls for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the nature of what the Magisterium is talking about, looking for, and doing is all stuff that you kind of know at this point. They're looking for a fugitive who was responsible for waylaying a wagon. they have reason to believe this person went this way and is possibly in this establishment or passed through it. And they're poking around, asking people a little bit about it. They're not like hard interrogating anyone or arresting. They're just kind of poking, prodding.
Okay.
I'll actually say this. You hear them talking to this one individual who's sitting by a corner table. This is a large, like 6.5, 7 foot tall red dragonborn with piercing yellow eyes. He's sort of leaning back, arms crossed against the wall. He's got a bottle of cloud ahead in front of him, but he doesn't seem in any rush to get to it. Sort of nods in your direction. Last one to come in.
She'll kind of notice that, and instead of running like any amateur thief probably would have, that's like, they've been spotted, she'll hold her ground, actually.
Sure. As you do this, then, a guard approaches you. Excuse me, ma'am, have you seen anyone on the street tonight? Anyone in this direction, potentially running?
She's gonna hold up a finger while she's like, because if she's in the middle of a drink, she's going to be just... Now that you mention it, I might have not. Really all depends. I've seen quite a few people this day. I mean... What's it to you?
So this is not a normal answer. And as a result of that, the guard kind of looks at you very intently. I believe this person committed a crime and is fleeing from the law.
Oh.
Looking to apprehend this person. Do you have...
Well, forgive me.
Sounds like you might have an idea of what's happening.
Well, forgive me. I didn't realize it was so severe. Of course, I should help wherever I can. Do you have a description by any chance? I might know someone.
They describe, in very vague terms, something that approximates whatever form you were in at the time. In very murky, loose detail, clothes, build, hair, color, maybe. It's loose and vague.
She'll sort of do that sort of like vague thinking motion as like, now that I think about it, I did see someone like that. Yeah, I think it was right as I came in. So they were kind of leaving roughly around the time I came in, though, so I don't know exactly where they went.
Do you know which
look kind
exit
of
they went through? Front door? Back?
I want to say it was the back door. Yeah, probably was the back door. You'll have to forgive me. I've points to her drink. I've been on a bit of a tear tonight. Can I roll a deception check to counter that?
No. As you say this, the guards turn back to the owner. And there's a discussion about whether or not someone went through the back door. Because people don't usually go through that door. Thought you said no one came through here. And they've got hands on short swords. And we're going to cut over to Vesper now. Vesper, you're fleeing. You're in a dark alley. You're difficult to spot, but visible. And being pursued by a mage on a broom.
So annoying. Does this... I mean, I know that they're... So I'm partially visible. Like, they are... Is this person, like, within, like, they have eyesight, or are they just kind of running in a direction they saw me go?
So this person, it doesn't seem like they're tracking you too closely, right?
I see.
It's still dark. They are still far away. And this seems to be a human of some variety. So they can probably see glimpses of you. But it doesn't seem like they are tracking you too closely.
All right, not super concerned just yet. So I'm going to just use my action to continue to make my way down the alley to the direction of the ballroom, and I want to use my bonus action to hide this time.
Absolutely. So we'll call this essentially like stealth running. You're still
Okay.
moving while hiding, but or would you like to like plaster yourself against a wall, let them zip past? What's the move? What's the hide like?
Ooh, I need giving me options. I think line of sight is more important to him right now. So I think that if I can find like a nook or like behind a whatever trash receptacle or some kind of something, detritus, I don't know, to like hide behind actively and let them pass, and then I could just continue on.
Absolutely.
That would be 1000%
Cool.
advantageous, because otherwise I'm going to shoot them in the head, and I don't want to do that right now.
Absolutely. So let's call this DC 18, but let's say you have advantage.
Okay, that works for me. I don't know where my good die went though, so we'll see if this one behaves nicely. All right, let's see. This is just a stealth check.
Yeah.
All right, well that is a 17 for one, and that is a, I could do math, 12 plus, so 22 for the other.
22 will do it.
Thank
You
God.
are able to, while in between alleys, you come to basically a T intersection. And you just kind of flatten yourself against the close wall of this T. You hear as this wizard on a broom just zooms past you, chasing some kind of imaginary phantom off into the night.
Amateur.
All right, and it is now the guard's turn. I'm gonna say Vesper, you do not clock any guard activity in your immediate vicinity. You seem to have evaded the people on foot, and you seem to have dodged this broom maniac. I'm gonna say, Eris, you're having a very different experience. The guards
Clearly,
are like
yeah.
fists on the bar, leaning over, other hand on like the hilt of their sword. Thought you said there was no one coming through here. And let's see what happens out of that. Can someone give me evens or odds?
What we got? We'll say evens.
Evens. All right. Let's see what we get. That is an even number, 2. So let's think. Does the bartender know you? Does this form know this person?
Yes, I will say that, because there has been a job where Vesper Eris has had to be in this identity before, and she has had some dealings with Cloud9's owner before while being Jess. So
Gotcha.
They're familiar with each other.
There is a brief moment of eyes flicking in your direction, mean mugging you in the hardest, most frustrated way possible before the owner turns back to the guards. You see all these fucking people. You expect me to find one person who might have snuck past the back door? Go back there if you want to find him. I got nothing. All right, I pay my taxes, I pay my permits. I got nothing. You want to find someone? They're out the back door, I guess. And this seems to be persuasive enough for the guards, although they do look at Telian and kind of like murmur, "We'll be back." Vague, shitty cop kind of threats, and they head out the back door. For his part, once he doesn't see there are any more guards in his immediate presence, Telian comes to you, gold now.
Don't worry. I was already getting it ready. Very good acting, by the way.
Ah, fuck off.
I could almost see you on the spotlight in a theater company somewhere. Very good.
You're giving me enough spotlight as is. This shit's gonna kill me.
Oh, don't act like you didn't enjoy that. She'll slide over 10 pieces of gold.
He takes it, pockets it, and can you roll me a wisdom saving? Just for
Sure.
fun.
For fun. Yeah, why not?
Call this DC 20.
That's a 13.
That won't do it. So, Eris, as you are sitting here, being chewed out by the owner of this bar, things begin to shake, shift, move in your field of vision. The edges of what you can see become fluid and bendy. This is accompanied by just like a visceral shift in your stomach. You've had this happen before. Not often, but everyone has had this happen before. You're having a vision. And so, as you do this, the world that you're seeing, Telian, melts in a kind of goop of color before your eyes, and you look into the darkness. And from that, a couple of things emerge. One, you see these red-clad, hooded warriors, people with blank white masks fighting the guard in a way that does not happen. You, Vesper, you might hurt someone, kill someone here or there. This is open conflict. Guards are being cut down in the street with scythes. From this vision, the scene melts and you see another one. You see a fleeing, but what appears to be whole and intact Vesper bump into a nondescript little building in the outer ward. Go ahead and roll me like a history check. This would be like DC 12.
Okay. That. I think I'll check what my history is. Is a 12.
Perfect. You would know this location as the Spider House Ballroom. This is a bar, dancing, ballroom, cultural center, all rolled into one for the Drow people. You would also probably know it is the center of Lolth worship in the city.
Okay.
That is where the vision seems to end and you return to yourself.
Oh, God. Never gets any fucking easier.
Oh, and you get a freebie too. That's just real fucking nice.
What can I expect? I'm in the #1 cloud den in the city, or so you keep telling everyone.
I make people pay for that shit.
Look at all the people smoking around here. You think someone wouldn't get a freebie around here?
Look, no secondhand. Get your ass out of here.
Invest in some private rooms then, jackass. She'll take her leave with that.
He does chuckle at that. He's like, yeah, you got a point. And you do know that as much shit as Telian gives you, he's never actually gonna act against you. He's just gonna heckle you.
Which is why Eris loves teasing him, especially like while she's in Jess, because Jess is an absolute just with the alcohol system especially. Oh, Jess is a menace, and he knows that.
Yeah. So what was that? Did you head out?
I think with that, yeah, she'll heed his warning to kind of just head out, because I think if the coast looks kind of clear, she'll double check.
Absolutely. Yeah, you double check. It seems the Magisterium has moved on from this location. You would be free to go if you wanted to.
She probably would, yeah. In that vision, with all the vision, she probably wouldn't want to risk getting another secondhand vision again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You head off into the night. No worse for the wear, except for a couple of crossbow injuries, but you seem fine.
Those will heal.
Vesper, you're up. We're probably out of initiative at this point. You both seem to have evaded the guards in your own way. Yeah, is a move still heading to the ballroom?
100%. Especially after he's kind of noticed that nobody is following this maniac, this broom maniac, and the maniac has fully passed him. He has no reason to alter course. I think that when he gets within eyesight of the ballroom, that's when he will remove the ring, but not before then.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, you get within eyesight of this small little standalone building that you know pretty well. Your family hangs out here. Your sister hangs out here, and you've spent plenty of time hanging out here. One second to change the music since we're out of danger for the
It's so good though.
moment.
It is, yeah.
So, Vesper, you are able to kind of casually approach the door, pop it open, head on in, and you find a very familiar sight. It is kind of almost wall to wall, packed with people. There is music that, to the unfamiliar, probably sounds rhythmically disorienting and almost a bit atonal or nonsensical, but you find intricate rhythmic and melodic patterns in it nonetheless. The crowd is mostly drow folks. They're just hanging out, dancing, drinking, just gathering at night. You enter, you're clocked for sure, especially because you're wearing armor that, if I remember correctly, is covered in blood.
Oh
You
yeah, that. It's fine.
took and give some hits in the last conflict, and now that you're among people, that becomes more apparent. You're observed, but nothing more than that for now.
Yeah, I think he will kind of, honestly, it's not what I would do, but I don't think he gives a single shit about moving through this crowd in bloodstained armor. I had a thought that, like, oh yeah, I could clean some of it off. He wouldn't do that. I think he would just kind of carefully move through the crowd and try and find some place to get his bearings. Maybe also keep an eye out for his sister. Yeah, probably his sister more than anybody else, just because, like, the guards are out. They were definitely looking for him. He wants to make sure that if she's around, that she's okay. If she's not around, that's fine, but
as you are moving through this space, you do come into contact with your sister. She sort of like spots you from a table over in the corner. She seems to be just like sitting down, having a quick little drink, just hanging out. And she like looks you up and down. Vesper, what the hell? And she just kind of beckons you over.
yeah, I think that if she is as boisterous as she normally is, I think he would like and join her at her table wherever she's sitting. Like, okay, bring it down. It's fine. I'm okay. Are you okay?
Happened? I'm fine. I've been here. Why would I not be okay? What happened to you?
It's a job.
She looks you up and down. You're still covered in blood. A job?
Yeah, you don't need to know more than that. I'm fine. You can look me over. I'm okay.
Like, I don't know why you're always on my ass about diving. If you're doing jobs, you can't even tell me about.
Believe me, diving is still, let me worry about you. Okay? Don't give me shit.
Then let me worry about you.
No. I'm fine. Yes, you can see I'm completely fine. I'm not the one who came limping home with a fully broken leg.
That was
So
2 times. The clerics patched me up. It was fine.
you're not making a great case for yourself here, so I'm just going to drop it. You haven't had any, there's been no like guard activity around here, has there? Like, you're okay? You haven't seen anything weird or?
She looks at you very suspiciously with that line of questioning. Not that I've seen, but do you want to share something?
No, I don't, and I can't. And it's better for you and our parents if it remains that way.
Look, if there's heat on you, like, we should know. You're here. We're all here.
Well, right now, I don't think they know who I am, so it doesn't seem to be too much of a problem.
Do you think they care? If they find you here, do you think they care? Do you think that's gonna work out for all of us?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. You're right.
So what's going on? Go ahead.
I think he would just continue, just like, I can't tell you what party you're not understanding.
As this happens, Abhishek, you've had a few minutes to continue to head in the direction. Well, actually, what do you do? You're able to dip on out of Cloud9 with no pursuers. Do you follow where the vision of Eris led you, or go somewhere else?
As much as Eris would like to, she knows it is risky, especially to go into a place as prominent to the drow as the ballroom, and she's like, maybe a bit later when the heat has died down, like completely for now. But as she's confident enough that the heat has died down for her, she'll start making her way back to Lich Lord.
Lich Lord Tavern, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is better than I could have planned. So you head over to Lich Lord Tavern, and you encounter a frenzied and chaotic scene. They are in the middle of like clearing folks out for some reason. You're on the street, you see the building up ahead to your left, and you see just like throngs of people just like kind of heading out. And interestingly enough, go ahead and roll like insight or perception, whatever you're better at.
Let's see. Most likely gonna be perception, but yeah, perception, I think so. Yeah. Damn, these are not the greatest of rolls, but I mean, I'll take it.
It has to be like a DC 12.
Yeah, I think with that, I should pass. So that's a 13.
13 will do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say you're able to clock that everyone who's leaving is like civilian, right? This is a bar where divers and adventurers hang out.
Right, yeah.
This is a bar for cool kids, and the people who are leaving are not the cool kids. As you approach, does anyone at the bar know you in this form?
As Jess, no.
All right, yeah. So you walk by, and what do you do?
Seeing the amount of people that are coming out, she's probably gonna pull aside like a random like person that just got brought out, like, hey, what's happening? I was gonna come by for like a bar hop kind of thing, but what the hell's happening?
Someone tell me evens or odds.
Odds.
Odds. This is an even number.
Damn it.
I don't know if that's good or not.
Oh boy.
It's not helpful.
Cool.
So the
Lovely.
person looks at you. I don't know, that fucker up on the third floor, always up there, kicked everyone out.
Oh shit. Must be some sort of big shot then. Holy fuck.
He's always up there having his fucking drugs. I just wanted to drink.
Damn, that sucks. But
Yeah.
she will note that. I guess the king's in a bit of a mood today.
Hmm? This hasn't happened before.
Interesting. Alrighty. She's gonna scout around and see if she can find a back entrance into the Lich Lord.
Absolutely, yeah. Go ahead and roll perception for me.
Right.
You'll find an entrance either way, but
Much better. 17.
17 will do it. So as as you enter as you circle around in a sort of alleyway and look for the back door to the Lich Lord, which you would know to exist in some form or fashion, you catch a couple of red-robed figures just kind of standing there.
That will kind of take her back a little bit, considering what she just saw, especially. Are they doing anything? Are they conversing? Are they just standing there menacingly? What are they doing?
They're standing there. I mean, their body language reads casual. The fact that they are in hooded red robes with blank white masks reads extremely menacing.
Oh yeah. Okay. She might kind of just try to hide on reflex, just to be like, oh, don't really know if I want or them to see me.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead and roll stealth then to see if you can get in unseen.
Yeah. Should be good at this. It's an 18.
18? Yeah, that'll do. You're able to kind of, as far as you're aware, slip slip under their radar, so to speak.
Okay. I think once she's inside, she'll go back to her normal form, the one she was in when she was the one she's been in like most commonly. So
Sure.
like the tan skin, long black hair with a red ombre and all that. But yeah.
Absolutely. You're able to slip in through the back door. You catch Nettle, the most frequent bartender, sort of locking the front door. She turns, Eris, where did you come from?
Is that really the question me asking? What the hell is happening?
You should talk to the king about that. The Magisterium's coming after us. All of us, all throughout the city.
Oh boy. Well, I guess I better be talking to His Majesty then.
Yeah, I'm kicking everyone out and I'm getting the hell out of here.
Alright, stay safe.
I'll try. People are going to be the death of me.
You know you love me.
Roll an insight check real quick.
Alright.
It's a DC 10.
DC 10. Ooh, okay. 11.
Nettle is super not amused. Nettle is a regular fucking person. She doesn't fight. She doesn't cast spells. She tends a bar.
Fair.
And
yeah.
so knowing that the Magisterium is bringing their might against her place of work, potentially now,
Is a lot. No, yeah.
she doesn't seem to be in the mood for that sort of thing. She gives a half scowl and grabs her shit and tries to leave.
Alright. Look, I meant it when I said stay safe, alright?
Yeah, you too.
I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you then.
See you if I see you. She heads out. Bar is, at this point, full of adventurers, pretty much only, and most of them seem to have been congregated on the third floor.
Yeah, Eris will make her way up there. Because, yeah, shit's about to go down.
Yeah, you head up to the third floor and you see the sort of makeshift throne that the king sits on, and before him are just most of the adventurers left in this establishment, most of everyone who's not guarding the doors, watching the windows. And he sort of nods in your direction as you come in, but you catch the tail end of messengers to every safe house right now, and you see a few different people sort of head off. As you approach, the king nods at you. Eris, to what do you hear the pleasure?
Well, job's done, I should say, for first off. Second off, seems we've kicked up quite a storm. Care to explain?
Wish I fucking could. I've been getting ready. This whole thing, the divers, all of it, we've been getting ready. We didn't kick this shit off. When you say the job's done, he kind of looks at you intensely for a moment. Was that Caroline?
This is something she's not. This is kind of a shift of tone she's not entirely quite fond of going with.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll just say. She'll really just won't say anything, but she'll kind of specify. I mean, I meant your job was done, the one that you hired me for.
Understand. For that, I'm grateful.
May or may
Forgive
not have
me.
done something else, but I will not be divulging any specifics on that. For the less you know, the better. For now, in case something happens. Plausible deniability and all that.
Without bothering to kick anyone out, King leans back, folds his arms. I wasn't expecting their reaction to be this bad.
You're telling me I'm the one who had to run from them.
They think you're one of us, which protects you in a way. You have to become one of us now. But, this was not how this was supposed to happen. We were supposed to be... Damn it.
The Eris is just gonna shake her head and just kind of. I've got a feeling it's going to get so much more worse than that. Whatever you're imagining.
I wish I could disagree with you. Where are the others? I heard you're not working on this alone.
They'll be back. We had a bit of a scuffle. Like I mentioned, we did have to flee rather hastily, so we decided to part ways for the time being.
Understandable. As you are kind of wrapping this up, this like huge ruddy red minotaur sort of steps forward, nods. You would know this guy is Crag. He hangs out with Vesper's sister. They are diving partners, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
Should someone go warn the ballroom? The king weighs the options. Most likely. I don't know where the Magisterium's desire for vengeance ends.
I think
He's
at
sort
this
of
point, Eris will
paused.
sort of speak up. If you do happen to send someone out that way, mind if I join them?
Crag looks at you. I don't. The king looks at
Perfect.
you. Then I don't.
Wonderful.
Be fast. Don't be seen.
My specialty.
Good. Crag nods in your direction.
That Eris will nod back. And just whatever plans are set forth to head to the ballroom, Eris will probably join whoever's going.
Yeah, it's just Crag. As you head down the stairs, you feel this just fucking enormous hand just kind of placed on your shoulder. You turn around and Crag's holding a healing potion out to you. He sort of like points at a couple of the crossbow wounds. Those look bad. You should drink.
I appreciate it. I mean, I was hoping that it would be nothing that a little bed rest wouldn't solve, but I appreciate the expedited healing.
You can restore 3d4 plus 4 hit points.
3d4. All right, let's get on that then.
Vesper, we cut back to you. You were still trying to convince Grace that you can't tell her what's going on?
Yeah, 1000%.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check then, or some other kind of conversation.
Am I good at that? Let me see. Do. What if I what if I tinge it as intimidation? Like, you don't want to know. You shouldn't know. It's for your own safety. Is kind of the vibe.
Sure, that's actually pretty. That works pretty well. It could backfire spectacularly,
That's
but
fine.
it could work.
That's been all I do this game is just shit that could backfire awfully, so it's fine. That is is that a 1? No, that's a 7. Oh my god. Okay. 15.
Seven. That's a pretty solid roll.
I have a lot of
15.
intimidation that I just don't ever use.
Hmm?
I mean, Vesper is very intimidating.
Isn't he though?
She looks at you and she doesn't seem convinced, but she drops it for now. All right. Fine.
Promise it's for your own good, okay? Not trying to be difficult. It's for mom and dad's good. It's for all you guys.
I won't ask. I don't agree with you that it's for our good.
That's
But
fine.
I know better than to try and get information out of you. So fine. I'll drop it.
Well, when do we ever agree on anything? It's fine. Grace was
As this happens, Grace, excuse me, she gets up and goes somewhere.
I
do you
think yeah, Vesper will probably actually go to whatever washroom exists and start, like, wiping out some of the blood that is still on that leather.
Absolutely.
However long that takes, and if there's I don't imagine he does a spectacular job. I don't think he's super conscientious about it, but just enough, and then he'll probably go to the bar. Grab a drink, sit there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait for Grace.
As you head out of the washroom, having gotten the blood that you could get rid of washed out, you open the door to the washroom, and standing in front of you is a pillar of the drow community. This older woman, roughly 300 years old, maybe one of the oldest living things in this city. Mistress Corinidae, the owner of this fine establishment, sort of nods in your direction. Hello, Vesper.
Mistress, hello.
Do you have a moment to talk?
I suppose I do. I think he'll kind of like look over her shoulder and see if Grace has returned. If not, then he'll
Nowhere to be
kind of
seen.
shrug. Yeah.
She invites you into a back room and office of sorts. It's the same kind of like, almost it's not. The building isn't nice. No part of the building itself is great, but this space is decorated well. It's warm. There are various paintings, little just things, stuff, cultural objects, essentially, decorated in warm red colors and golds. And she sort of sits down behind a desk and she gestures for you to sit. Can I get you anything? I have a feeling we might be talking for a minute.
No, I'm fine. And I think he'll kind of be really wary about sitting down. This is spends a lot of time here, but I mean, he and his family are not Lolth worshippers, so
Yeah.
I think his guard's up a little bit.
I'm going to be honest with you, Vesper. Your sister says you might have trouble in your heels. Is that correct?
I think he heaves a great sigh. I have evaded it. I have evaded it as best as I can. I don't believe I've left a trail. I don't think that she Listen, as far as I know, everything is maybe not fine, but this place is not in danger as far as I know.
What happened?
There's a job, and he kind of gestures at the remaining bloodstains on his armor.
What was the job?
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Grace. I cannot tell you. It is for your own good.
Vesper, that line won't work on me. If you want to find some other creative solution to not tell me, fine. I'm anxious to hear it, but that line will not work on me.
Has something happened?
Not yet, but I am concerned.
I'm not giving you details, but there's a job and involved the Magisterium.
Did you kill a wizard?
A necromancer.
Are you seen?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Were you seen?
Correct me if I'm wrong, like out of character.
Sure.
They were all seen by civilians. And then the guard gave chase. I don't know if they were seen by guards, but I know for a fact they were seen by like people at the end.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So both of those things are true. The guards did catch you as a figure. They didn't like see your face.
Right. Okay. I wanted to not lie to this character on accident.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yes, we were. Not by anybody who. Not by any magisterium or any guards. But at the end, it got loud. And there were witnesses. Civilians.
As you say this, the music that you can hear roughly sort of pulsating through the thin walls of this establishment kind of dies down in a bit of a chaotic, abrupt shudder. Eris, you and Crag practically burst into the Spider House ballroom. You've probably never been here before. I won't assume anything, but it's not common.
Yeah, definitely. This is like one of the only places that Eris has not stepped foot inside of.
You come into what appears to be a large single-room establishment. It is packed almost wall to wall with people. There is a disorienting, shrill, high-pitched music going on as you bumble in through the door. You are able to catch it briefly for a moment before it all dies down and people begin to look in your direction because of your hasty entrance. Crag certainly did not hold anything back for social graces as he kind of just barged in. And you look and essentially the eyes of the entire establishment are on you before Crag begins to speak. The mages are going after everyone. They're going after every diver safe house that we know of. I can't say this place isn't on the list. as this happens, Eris, it's weird. Everything stops, becomes still. There's a palpable kind of pause, a hanging question that doesn't quite reach anyone's lips. You briefly, barely hear whispers going around. Vesper? Job? Grace? It's unclear. Vesper, as the music stops, Madam Corinidae, Mistress Corinidae, rather, sort of nods at you. I have friends all over the city. They've been keeping me updated. Vesper, I'm sorry to say, I think this might have been the big one.
What do you mean? What happened? What have you heard?
We have people inside the Magisterium. Not enough, but we do have people. They're not taking this lying down. I don't know what exactly their specific plans are, but what I have heard is not good. They're on high alert. They're searching. I don't think they know who they're searching for yet, but they are looking. Now, it is not my intent to accept this lying down. But if we are going to work with you, you will need to work with us.
Anything you need.
Good. I'm gonna roll a die real quick.
I'm sure that's fine. While you roll
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I heard my door. I'll be right back.
Well, I can't do this without Seth. So, Eris, what do you do as you hear your friend's name in this context? Eris? Or not Eris, excuse me.
Vesper.
Vesper? Grace? Job? Blood?
I think Eris will probably eavesdrop. I mean, they're obviously still kind of the center of attention. She doesn't want to make herself stand out a bit more, but she'll probably just passively listen to what some of the other patrons are saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and roll me the perception check or an insight check. This will be like a DC 10. It's not
Okay,
difficult
alright.
to piece together.
Here. Nice, 23.
That'll do it,
perception,
yeah.
Perception, sorry. No, sorry, 26 I had. Sorry.
You're able to piece together that Vesper popped in here not too long ago covered in blood. You know that he had some kind of heated conversation with his sister, Grace, and is now in the back speaking with someone who's only being referred to as the mistress or mistress.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That certainly explains that. Okay.
Vesper, Madam or Mistress Corinidae gives you an odd look. It's imagine like nurturing and wistful at the same time. Vesper, will you indulge an old woman?
What do you need?
It brings me joy to know our lessons are not lost on you. I know we have our disagreements about who or what is worthy of worship and attention, but I am proud of you.
I think Vesper is, maybe for the first time anybody's seen in a long time, truly taken aback. He doesn't expect to hear these words from many people aside from maybe his contacts at the Manifold Church, but even then I think it feels different coming from like a culturally maternal figure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. But maybe you should save that for after we get through whatever this is.
If we both get to see the other side, I'm sure you'll tire of hearing it. But I've learned to not expect many things. I just wanted to tell you now, before we don't have the chance.
I have to believe that we will have many opportunities to... What do you know? Is something happening now?
Not that I'm aware of, although she gestures to the wall that had separated you from the music, which has now ceased. Sounds like something's happening. My friends, one of whom is the king, the man who leads the divers. We've been anticipating something like this for a very long time. Something that finally sets the question. Will the Magisterium rule us or not? He and I think we are about to answer that question. You've, for lack of a better word, where you've written the first letter.
We're being honest, I've written more than that. I have... Everything that I have done here has been making sure that the answer to that question is a resounding no. And I hope you understand that's why I haven't told Grace or you or anybody else, anything about what it is that I do or have been doing.
I understand.
I thought I was doing what I thought was best.
At the time, you likely were. Now, what's best will become something else. Oh, go on. I won't keep you.
I think he'll just silently take his leave.
You silently take your leave. You exit the back room in which Mistress Corinade has made her small little office of sorts, and you come to the main room where the dancing, the drinking, the lull for the stuff happens. Everyone kind of looks at you almost expectantly as you enter. I won't make you roll a perception check for this, actually. You see Grace kind of making her way through the crowd, passing out weapons. It's subtle. She's not like making a big thing of it. She's just passing daggers and short swords off to a few folks as she makes her way over to you.
I think he'd kind of meet her in the middle. Sorry, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would also, by the front door, you see Crag, Grace's diving partner, and Eris. Eris is, I assume, making her way over to you. Crag is making his way over to Grace.
I think he would just kind of softly, like, get Grace by the shoulder. So it's happening, isn't it?
You hear snippets of conversation between Grace and Crag. Something about hitting diver safe houses and not being sure whether or not this place is safe. They also speak of something that you've not heard of called the Shelf.
If I can't, like, I mean, if she's obviously occupied, I think I would just... He may rejoin Eris and just kind of, like, watch his sister. I mean, I think he knows that she's, I mean, obviously he knows that she's a diver, but I don't think I think that seeing her actively, like, pass out weaponry is jarring.
Yeah, sure.
For him. So I think he'd pop over to Eris. Oh, I'm glad to see you got out.
Well, same to you, although I don't think we really got out of it, did we?
No.
In fact, I believe we might have stepped into something much, much worse.
I gotta hope you're wrong. He's just kind of, I think he's just like staring at Grace.
I think Eris will kind of take note of that and just chuckle a bit, but not really say anything, kind of let Vesper watch over his sibling for now. It's a nice little side of Vesper she hasn't seen before, him being so focused on this one goal that isn't like, you know, a jewel or a heist or anything. She wants to savor it a little bit.
I think he might rejoin Grace. And just take a couple of the daggers or short swords and start handing them out.
Sure, absolutely. Let's actually call that our halfway point. We are going to hit a quick 10-minute break or so. Go ahead, get up, drink some drinks, pet your pets, say hi to your loved ones. We will be back soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from break, and we have Mozz with us. We have our third player now. Yeah, we're ready to get back into it. Give me one quick second to change the music up. All right. So, are we dealing with Zahir or Kamar right now?
I feel like after they're probably still. Actually, no. They did change. They're still Kamar. Yeah.
There's still Kamar? All right.
Mhm.
So, Kamar, what has it been like as you flee the Magisterium, as they chase you through the night?
Complete glee and just like evil
Mhm.
cackling in his brain, just like just running around. Um, just they've completed something, but it's still not over, so they're allowed to be out for a little bit longer.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. You are, to some extent, in your element. There's foes everywhere, and you feel complete liberty to deal with them however you want. Uh, sorry, I'm seeing the chat. Um,
um, how where is Vesper and Eris?
so you, I'll say, let's say this. At first, you're not sure. You lose track of them. You all start to flee, and Vesper and Eris both split up. And due to their nature, rogues and their abilities, they're faster than you by a bit. And so they just gone. And
He
good.
he just seeing that he just like God damn it and just starts like just hustling through. Just he's what is it? He just keeps thinking of a quote that's completely different from we're built for short distances, not long. And like inside internally just
Mhm.
hear is like I'm not even built for running. I'm okay.
So yeah, you're everyone decides to split up. That appears to be the safest play. But at some point, I would say you are able to evade the guards, whether by blasting those who get too close or by stealth and subterfuge. You're able to get away from them. One thing you are able to clock is while sort of resting in an alleyway, you hear a couple of. You actually see like a small group of guards just sort of marching through the streets headed to the outer ward, the less wealthy section of the city that's kind of buttressed up against the walls. You hear brief mentions of a location called the Spider House Ballroom.
um he kind of like mutters to himself, this is just repeating it. As they here's the one who can remember little things like that, working with their spot, like for any kind of jobs or stuff like that, oh, there's Comfort Gold, or this guy hides his stuff under the sheet, like under his mattress, easy.
Mhm.
Kamar is not. He's just like, what did they say? No, wait, and it's just like, what was the name again?
Mhm.
And they, what was the name again? Sorry, what was it again?
Spider House Ballroom.
Um, Ballroom, ballroom, ballroom. Okay. Do I have to dance? No. Yeah. Should I learn how to dance? Yes. No. Do you know how to dance? And talking to Zahir, and Zahir
Mhm.
just like pushes up against like inside, and he just like, okay, I wasn't asking you, and then just like is trying to catch up to Eris and Vesper. So is there a way I could do a perception check to see where they are, or if I could find them quickly?
So I would say at this point they are at this point they're probably like gone. By this point where you've had to like successfully evade the magisterium, that has taken you time during which you've lost track of them. The only lead you have is that the guards who are chasing you are now going to the Spider House ballroom.
They're chasing Kamar, they're probably also chasing them. So Kamar would kind of like skip around and double back to see where they're kind of leading into, and try and sneak uh, to this ballroom. I'm trying to see if they have something else here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you are able to stick to the shadows and dart into, sort of narrow alleyways, side streets, and other kind of throughways that the guard do not opt to uh, go through. And in that process, you are able to, I would say, get to the ballroom a bit ahead of the guard, should you so wish.
He keeps an eye on the door. He's gonna take them out if he gets too close, like pretty much pop up behind them, kind of do what he needs to.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to plan for that.
Mm-hmm.
But what can who's here?
Who's at the ballroom? The ballroom is packed wall to wall with people, mostly Drow. This is a center of Drow society in the city. This is a center of Lolth worship in the city. But inside, as far as figures that you recognize, you would see Vesper and you would see Eris. If you remember him, if you clocked him earlier, you would also see a big, like 6.5, 7 foot tall, ruddy red minotaur named Crag, and you would see Grace, who is Vesper's sister. You would also see the Drow are in the middle of passing out weapons to each other.
Are they passing out weapons to defend? Like, what could Kamar see, like, the intention?
It's a complicated situation, but one person might call defense, another person might call escalation. Truly, it does depend on your perspective.
For Kamar, it's like, ooh, another fight.
Fucking love Kamar.
And he'll go straight towards Crag, Grace, and Vesper and Eris, just like, well, you guys seem good.
As good as we can be.
You got
the
away quick.
Circumstances.
Look like we're about to just teach another lesson.
This is news to y'all. You don't know anyone's headed your way.
Oh.
I think Vesper kind of nudged Grace. Like, see if she and Crag heard what was just said.
You would see Grace go to the bartender and say something about getting everyone out through the shelf. And people start heading into a hatch in the floor, kind of behind the bar.
I don't think Vesper even asks questions. I think he would just literally go and start, like, I think he hears Grace and would just go start, like, grabbing people who maybe are on the corners and, like, funneling them towards that area.
Mm-hmm. As you... Yep.
They're kind of like antsy on their feet, so they look to they see Vesper like doing that, and Eris kind of like saying like, oh, they'd be like, yeah, we got a couple of little lessons to teach coming up our way.
Kamar, as you do this, there's a kind of a dense feeling that washes over you. The kind of weight of the angel, of divine presence bearing witness through you, kind of like feels palpable in this moment, especially as you witness families, communities all evacuating underground in fear of violent reprisal.
He's he feels that presence, but like it's a here internally who's seeing that. So
Mhm.
he like there's just like him just kind of shaking his head, trying to
Yep.
focus on the thing.
Mhm.
And Zahir is the one's just like internally, even though no one can hear him, he's just like kind of in anguish a little bit, surprise
Mhm.
and in fear of his life and the people like around him.
Mhm.
Um, Kamara is going to take out his pearl of power and whisper the command word to it and say Jamila and get back a spell slot in
Hell yeah.
preparation.
Absolutely. Anyone else have anything else you'd like to do for preparation as Grace and Crag turn to you? We're staying behind, right?
I don't like the idea of you staying behind, but
And watch my back.
yeah, I got you.
There's a group of maybe 10 people who are armed and staying behind.
What about the mistress? Should we get her out? I get the feeling she won't want to, but she's important.
Kamar, you see this ancient woman, one of the oldest things you've ever seen, emerge from the back. She is short, as most drow are, but imperious nonetheless. Dressed in a gray, what appears to be some kind of shimmering silk, high-collared cloak that goes from roughly up here all the way down to the floor. At the mention of the mistress going anywhere and not going anywhere, this woman nods in Vesper's direction. I won't be going anywhere.
Kamar kind of like puts his hand up like this next to like Eris and just be like, I'm all for everyone helping, but I don't know if we should give a sword to the poor old lady.
I won't need a sword.
No, she can hear me.
I think
A
Eris will
nice
just pat
ballroom.
Kamar's back. Eris just pat Kamar's back and was like, ah, yeah, she did.
Character, okay. God, that was funny. That hit just right. I can't convince you to leave, can I?
Who you speaking with?
Sorry, Mistress Corinidae. I could remind you of your importance to the community here. I could. Would you listen to any of that?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Sure, yeah. I didn't think I wasn't expecting that. I was
You're
expecting a no.
You're not choosing a bad angle of approach. You're really that's not a bad argument.
I will leave it as just regular persuasion. I don't have a lot of that. Let's see. 22. I'm sorry, nat 20, technically. I got the little dumpling.
Mistress Corinidae looks at you, and you can see her features soften as the recognition that you are, at least in some degree, right, kind of settles in with her. Let me propose something, and I will let you help me see whether or not this is a good one.
I'm all ears.
Indulge me one spell. Vesper, I have been waiting for this opportunity for well over 100 years. Indulge me once.
Better make it a big one.
My fury runs deep. It'll be as big as I can make it.
I just think that after tonight we may need your fury continually.
I know. You're right. She kind of posts up by the door. One spell, then I'm down the hatch.
You got a deal. I'll give you an opening.
Anyone else doing anything else to prepare? There are maybe 10 to 12, mostly drow, hanging out, armed. They seem to have crossbows and swords. You see Crag is armed with a big fuck off kind of battle axe. Grace has a rapier and like a parrying dagger. And y'all are here.
I think Eris, aside from like kind of just making sure her weapons are in good condition, looks at the bar and looks at like Kamar or Vesper, is like, anyone want to drink before battle?
Kamar is just like trying to sharpen the moon sickle. If there's any barriers or things like that they can like he's not trying to defend, he's trying to like get the entranceway as like closed off as possible so that only like one person has to come in at a time. So he's just moving things around, trying to kind of angle it.
Yeah,
he
sure.
doesn't drink, but he kind of looks at you, Eris, just being like, one for the road. Pretty much referring to Zahir.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
He just says like one for the road. He doesn't drink, but he's referring to like Zahir.
I think she'll probably just pour herself a nice couple of drinks and slide one over to Kamar for later.
He's just kind of on his tippy toes, just like if he had, well, he doesn't really have, he has just like white eyes, so his eyes are just like going up and down like Deadpool excited, like.
Yeah, so I'll say you're definitely able to create some kind of constricted entryway to where only one or two people could come in at a time. You and the other drow are basically able to like stack like tables on their side at the front to the front of the door, to where like you come in and there's just like stacked tables on either side. You can kind of squeeze that in to be like maybe only 5 foot wide or so. Anyone else doing anything aside from drinking?
I think I'm gonna give Grace my ring of invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna like take it off, just gonna kind of press it into her palm and say, listen, if things get bad.
She kind of nods. I won't fight you. She slips it on.
I think I'll kind of just like clap her on the shoulder and find a spot with some decent, maybe just like across the room, just like decent visibility for the entrance, and just kind of post up.
All right. You have maybe 5 to 10 minutes worth of waiting before sort of looking out into the night. You see the first kind of glints of a metallic reflection of the armor of the magisterial guard. Give me a quick second while I run downstairs and grab my dinner. I'm going to be right back.
Okay, guys.
Sorry, y'all.
How do we make so many bombs?
All right. We need gunpowder.
Yep. Love that the music just hit. Okay.
I know.
As
really
an
did.
outside voice of God, may
Hello,
I
God.
suggest Molotovs?
I like that.
That's a little, yeah. So the drink that Kamar has, they're kind of like they take a sip of it and they just kind of shake their head like they hate the taste of it, but they're fired up, so they kind of place it at the entranceways. It's a ballroom, right? So if there are like cool chandeliers, could we like put it at the entranceway to kind of drop them? And Zahir's just kind of looking at it. pointing at it and looking at you, Eris, and just being like, ah.
She'll kind of look around and kind of look and see what Kamara's cooking here. I'm just like where you going with that? Like, certainly making it more fun for me.
I love Molotovs. Let's do that, Vesper. And they kind of if there's something to find, that's what they'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking through my inventory. Trying to make my brain do things, but I just don't have fun stuff.
All right, what'd I miss?
I don't know. I think we're gonna make some Molotovs.
Hell yeah. Sure. Let's call these fireballs 8d6. Let's call this 4d6. Go ahead and roll. I don't know. Roll a die. Tell me what skill and ability score you think applies.
Who?
One person
general?
can roll. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know what skill Molotov cocktail making.
Yeah, this was y'all's kind of thing, so I'm gonna let y'all do this.
Go ahead. Give me a roll, and if you can convince me a specific skill applies, I'll give it to you.
I'm gonna attempt a sleight of hand roll, mainly because
Sure.
there is a decent amount of dexterity required with, like, getting it in, make sure the bottle doesn't break, setting it up properly. So yeah.
I won't ask where that knowledge comes from. Sure.
Don't worry about it. And would you look at that? Some natural 20!
Hey! All right, sure. Let's say you're able to concoct like 5 of these bitches real quick.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't use my roll.
Oh no.
Me too.
I'm just gonna put that die away.
So Vesper, you turn around and blink, and then you turn back to look, and then you see Eris there, like having put together like 3 grenades from nothing.
Actually, good thinking.
Kamar, this like 7-foot tall like minotaur just kind of like nudges you with his shoulder. She's pretty good at that, huh?
Oh, yeah. And then they kind of like take the swig of their drink, like and starts like pretty much kind of excited from the drink. I cannot wait till she throws one of them. I was curious if there was anything that we could drop on anyone, like a chandelier in the room.
You would have to wait for someone to be in the room, but yeah, I'll say there's some kind of like chandelier you could, in theory, target to drop on somebody.
Cool. Yeah, they will pretty much. They're. It's a tactic, so they're kind of like looking at it and planning. And oh my god, I feel like Craig and Kamar is gonna be like best friends. I have this feeling. But
Absolutely.
they kind of look to the to Craig and just like immediately like, we need a secret handshake or something, like something to say, like you need to hit that when we have like a lot of people under there or something. Can't think of anything else.
All right, sure. Then in that case,
I forgot I have a thing.
Like I had mentioned, the Magister or guard
Teacher.
appears. Yes,
Teacher.
what's going on, Seth?
I forgot.
I
I forgot I didn't scroll up far enough. I have a bag of 1,000 ball bearings.
What would you like to do with 1,000 ball bearings?
I'm gonna fucking dump them at the entrance so these nerds
Absolutely.
have to fucking make some kind of check. And yeah, I'm just gonna go dump them at the entrance and then take my position. Helping, okay?
I love it.
Absolutely, yeah. You dump 1,000 ball bearings. I'm going to ask you to remember that they're there, because
I will
might
write
not.
it. Let me put it in fucking bold right now. Hold on.
Yeah, and let's call it like I don't know if there's an actual number associated with ball bearings. You can correct me if I'm wrong on it, but let's call it like a DC 12 dexterity check to
It
traverse that
says a
space.
creature moving across the covered area must succeed a DC 10 dex or fall prone.
Okay, yeah. I'll call it the 12 because that's what I said.
Cool beans.
Yep. So yeah, you dump 1,000 ball bearings and the guard appears. I'm going to say initiative begins when they're roughly 90 feet from the door. So let's roll some initiative real quick.
Yeah. I love the dice that I've used for Eris have just been letting me down, so I switched over to my Oriad dice, and they have been rolling wonderfully.
Getting pretty good rolls already. This is incredible.
Keep
Keep it up. Keep it up.
Got 17. Teen, no one else down yet.
17 for Vesper.
Yes.
16
All right,
for
so-
Kamar.
22 for Eris.
All right, so I've got, if I can move my fucking thing real quick. Let's see, we've got Eris, Vesper, enemy number 1, Kamar, guard. All right, so let's see it. Vesper, you see the this group of guards. It looks like there's maybe 30 of them, 30 to 40. That's a lot. And they're all headed your way. Weapons out. They haven't done anything yet, but they're just marching in your direction. Everyone inside is deathly silent. You see white knuckle grips on weapons. Everyone is just waiting for the first move.
Is it me? Sorry.
No, it's Eris first.
Yeah, it's Eris. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly. I'm trying to like get a
sorry.
visual. Yeah, I'm trying to get a visual
Okay.
aspect for like how I can visualize the room. Let's see. So you said the guards or the first wave. Roughly how far away are they from like where we've set up
90
the ball
feet.
bearings? 90 feet. Okay.
Yeah, they're 90 feet from the front of the place.
Okay. I think first things first is that Eris will probably. So I know you mentioned that you will be able to like drop the chandeliers. Where would be like? Is there like a mechanism, like a chain that can be broken to do so?
Yeah, pretty much any way you could try to do that, you could do. You could throw a dagger, you could shoot it.
Okay.
If you wanted to make a melee attack against it, you could. But
Okay.
that would require waiting until they get inside the building.
Yeah, I know. So I think mainly what Eris is going to do is she's gonna kind of get in position by like where some of the one of the chandeliers, at least by the main entrance, close to those ball bearing areas, are being held up. So she'll use her move action to get there, and her bonus action to hide.
Sure, you hide. Anything else?
And then she'll wave there. So that'll be the end of her turn. So she'll basically essentially just waiting until they get there, and then she can just drop it.
The Vesper, then, you are up. There's like 40 people marching your way. Hands on weapons or weapons drawn.
I mean, they're still outside, though.
They sure are.
They're still outside. I mean, I assume this place has the typical paned glass window that
Sure do.
most structures do, so I can't really do anything about that. I mean, actually, hold on. I'm gonna read this. Nah, I'm gonna save that. I have nothing combat related to do, really, except for just I don't know. I could use my action to tell Grace not to be reckless.
Do you want to delay your turn until the guard move?
That might be a good idea.
All right, sure. I'll put you after the guard then.
Yeah. So I'm not taking a first shot. You kidding me?
Yeah, if
Not in
if
this
possible, I
situation.
would do as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately, you don't have to wait very long. As you see the guard kind of marching in your direction, a chill, an absolute horror washes over you as, for no apparent reason, you hear them begin to cheer. Yeah! And then you hear... And then from out of nowhere, you barely see the glow of a red-hot fireball descend from on high and crash into the upper portion of this building. Everything devolves completely into chaos. There are shouts. The structure is on fire. It's not burning down around you yet, but that result seems inevitable. There is an indignant, horrified, mournful cry from the mistress who has watched over this place for hundreds of years. Everyone inside is a mix of horrified and furious as the wizard on his broom makes a turn for another pass. Kamar, you're up.
They've made that move and they kind of already started. So Kamar is let's see. Has anyone kind of stepped close to the ball bearings yet? Anything by that point?
Not yet. They're all still about 90 feet out.
They've already.
You could also delay your turn. The guards can move 60 feet in a turn.
Yeah, that definitely. They're trying to get them in a trap, so that's what they'll do.
Right, absolutely. I'll put you after the guard. So right now the initiative order is Eris, Wizard, Guard, Vesper, Kamar, the Mistress, and then the allies. All right, it is the guards' turn now. They move 60 feet. They're now roughly 30 feet from the door. At this point, they've kind of dropped all pretense and are just charging. That would be their turn, though, moving that 60 feet. So they are now within 30 feet of the door. Vesper or Kamar, you're all up.
What does Vesper want to... Do you want to do anything coordinated, or do you want to go for it? Or does Vesper look like they're, like, ready to launch something?
I mean, Vesper's fucking pissed. From inside, I don't know that there is much I can do about that mage, but that would be my first priority number one. So I am unsure right now.
Yeah. If you could see Kamar, they're kind of like afraid of not afraid, but kind of frustrated with the fireball that came on top of them. So they're looking out the window to see where that mage is. But knowing like how many, you can see him kind of count how many people are coming down. He's like, okay. So anyone could probably see it. Crag next to them could hear him muttering that he's like, give cover for anyone, but that. Can we curse?
Yeah.
But that bitch has to go and just like looks at Crag and just like I don't know if they can see Vesper from there where they are, but they will kind of look to everyone just being like, that one has to go. We're gonna give cover to the guards or something. Let's see. I want to do a lightning lure to like the first group of guards.
Sure. What does that do?
Lash or lightning energy that strikes at one creature that you can see. You said they're 30 feet away.
Roughly. Yeah.
No, they have to be 15 feet. Dang it. Instead, they'll do a mirror image and cast like 3 duplicates of themselves.
All right. Yeah, sure. 3 Kamars kind of pop up out of nowhere.
And I think that'll be That'll be it for my turn.
All right, Vesper, you're up.
I don't have much to do except for I suppose I could just try and I mean this wizard is not present at this exact moment, which is great. So I suppose my action is limited to just trying to take a shot at somebody.
Yeah, you could take a shot. You could throw a Molotov cocktail. You could fire at the wizard if you wanted to. They're like out there.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. I don't think this works here. Oh yeah, it does. Fuck it. Sure. I'm pissed. He's pissed. Let's try and take a shot at this wizard. I have the sharpshooter feat.
Absolutely. Let's see it.
All right. Do not. Okay, there it is. So +7 is 17 to hit.
17. This bitch does not have shield. That's a misstep on my part. 17 will hit.
The luck, holy shit. Okay.
That's a miss for me. That's
Woo!
an L.
All right, let me grab this. Where's my fuck? Oh, there it is. All right, so damn it. Plus 3 damage.
3 total?
Yeah. Well, I don't have sneak attack.
You don't have sneak attack. It should be.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. No, 1d6 plus. Oh, plus
your
4.
dexterity.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, you guys. So anyway, it's 5.
5. And did you use the sharpshooter feature of -5 for +10 damage or no?
No, that was just I was
Okay.
calling it out because there's no disadvantage at shooting at long range.
Gotcha,
I'm not
understood.
using the penalty this time.
Gotcha. So 7 damage total.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, you fired off. Y'all, you see, based on how you position yourself, there are kind of like panel windows on the left and right side of the door. There's the door, which has been kind of compressed down with these stacked tables to really like a little hallway that y'all have created. You see Vesper kind of pivot from around the tables, take a knee, like sit down and fire or kneel down and fire an arrow out the door, sailing maybe 100, 200 feet out the door above the heads of these folks. And it seems like a random ass shot into nothing. But at the last second, you see this wizard come by on a broom and just. This doesn't take him down by any means, but it is a solid hit on the leg. You see the broom sort of erratically kind of shift and almost fall before it rights itself. Vesper, this is a shot for the ages. And it is at this point where the mistress will go. She is screaming in just horror and fury and just indignation that this is their first move. Their first move is to destroy the fucking building, to burn it to the ground, not knowing or caring who the hell is inside. She is furious. And she sort of steps out to the front door and sort of channeling that energy, she looks to the sky and just screams and pulls up. And from seemingly out of nowhere, this thick web just sort of emerges from the ground and starts catching these charging soldiers in it. And there's maybe like 5 or 10 people or so just caught in this net that just rises from the ground and sort of latches on to buildings and just kind of slurps its way up. It's a bizarre little spell that you've never quite seen before, but it catches these guys right where they are. And with that, the mistress is forced to retreat. She gives a little hop over the ball bearings and runs to the hatch. Not before turning to probably you specifically, Vesper. You make them pay! And she heads down.
I think Vesper just already has another arrow drawn and is just like that cold, like laser focused. But will give just kind of a nod as she vanishes beneath.
For their part, at this point, the structural integrity of the building be damned. This is the fight you're having. The allies that you have, they grab the butts of their crossbows and just smash out sections of the glass. Take aim and fire. So this is going to be. That's a miss. That's a hit. That's going to be 2d8 plus 4 damage. Roll the fact 98.
Fuck them up.
10, 13 points of damage. So all of the allies that you have in here, they kind of smash out, fire their crossbow bolts. A few go wide, but several find their marks. Some are blocked by shields and armor, but others pierce straight into the heart of the advancing warriors. Eris, you are up.
Ready? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to recontextualize.
The wizard is on deck.
Wizard is on deck. Okay.
Yes, you see the broom making a long banking turn for another pass.
Okay. And then I'm assuming, obviously the soldiers have somewhat advanced, but I'm assuming not. So like.
They're 30 feet from the front.
Okay. I think. There's not much that Eris can really do at range, unfortunately.
Are you gonna throw a Molotov cocktail? I mean, you made them all.
That's true. She could.
You're gonna use those at close range?
No, of course not. You're right.
Then?
We got fireballs too.
I mean, don't let me tell you what to do.
I can because I forgot to notate that down in my inventory. So that's why I completely forgot about them. No, yes, Eris absolutely will lob a Molotov at them.
Absolutely. So as the guards continue their approach, having slowed slightly by this volley of crossbow fire, Eris, you take your turn, ducking sort of out from under the little table hallway you've created, just sidearm a Molotov straight out the door. I'm gonna roll a dex save for these folks. Let's call this a DC 15. Does that sound fair to you?
That's fair, thank you.
Okay. That's a 2. So that ain't gonna do it. Roll me 4d8 damage.
4d8 damage. Ooh, this is gonna be lovely, lovely, lovely. If I can get my d8 out of my case. $24.
Eris, you lob this Molotov out the front door, and there is a muted cheer as the glass breaks and ignites on the advancing army. You light up the night sky, and it is at this point where, in the flickers of firelight that reach to other structures in the street, you see eyes peering out, watching. Bonus action?
Bonus action to hide again, probably.
All right, you hide. You are no longer visible as an individual. It is the wizard's turn again, and they are going to range 120 feet. Point within range, not a point you can see. The wizard comes by, and as they go overhead again, they cast another spell. This is Cloud Kill. They cast it basically in the front part of the of the building. So I'm going to ask for a what is this? A fucking Constitution saving throw from all y'all as this cloud of noxious gas just billows up from a point of nothingness. Guards are on deck, Vesper afterwards. Let's see some Constitution
Ooh,
saving throws.
15!
15. That'll do it.
I have a 18
My
18 will
plus
do it
0!
plus 2.
Plus 0.
Eris, can I get a Constitution save real quick?
Yes. If I can find my dice, there it is.
15. 16. 18. 26.
Con save. Ooh, that's an 8.
An 8's not going to do it, so you take 26 points of damage, and the others take 13.
Ow.
As this noxious gas comes in, Vesper and Kamar, you're able to quickly cover your nostrils, and broadly your allies seem to be able to do the same, staving off the worst of the effects of this noxious gas. Eris, you're not so lucky, having just still kind of recovering from tossing that Molotov, getting ready to throw another. You're caught unawares, and you breathe in a big lungful of this noxious, stinging air.
Yeah, it's not fun. You can she's almost coughing, trying to cover her nose, but to no really avail.
All right, the guard, it is their turn now, and they are going to rush the front door. You have done a decent job of trying to funnel them. They're not able to, even though the door is a natural choke point, they're not even able to break free once they get out of that. They kind of come into this little sort of kill box that you've created, where there are people kind of perched up ready to shoot down or stab down. It is slow going, but there are maybe 5 people who managed to get in, and a bunch of other people plastered against the side of the building, or kind of bustling, pushing everyone else to get in. There are going to be 2 melee attacks. I'm going to say 1 against your allies generally, and I'm going to roll a d6. 1 or 2 is going to be Kamar, 3 or 4 is going to be Eris, 5 or 6 is going to be Vesper. That is a 3, so I believe that's Eris, based on what I just said.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
All right, cool. So 2d, what is this? 1d6 plus 3 coming at you, 1d6 plus 3 coming at the allies. Let's roll, see if we hit. That does not hit for the allies. That does not hit for Eris. So Eris, what does it look like as these folks all kind of barge in, but no one's really able to make purchase?
I think as she's sort of trying to recover from the effects of that noxious gas, she still finds it in her to weave and sort of duck and dodge any swings that come her way, or any projectiles, swings, or whatever may come her way, while kind of just still kind of dealing with all the effects of that gas. It's not fun for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as this happens, there are, like I said, there may be about 5 people who come in. The rest of everything kind of gets blocked as a 6th person begins to barge through, steps on a fat pile of ball bearings, slips and falls prone on his face. So for the next round, I'm going to say you all have advantage against the guards if you would like it. It's just a broad general against the horde. Let's come back. That was the guard. Vesper and Kamar, you're up.
Oh, muted, I think.
No, I'm reading things. You can go if you know what you want to do.
Just from the crossbow bolt that went out to the cloud kill to Eris's Molotov, Kamar first was as that bolt went out, he was just like saluting it, seeing it go past. And if he could, he's already bandaged up, so he pretty much like gets tissues and puts it up as if he was like hiding from the cloud kill. And then seeing the Molotov go out, you just see his eyes go like, whoa. But what he's going to do, there's one on the ground and a couple people are coming in a safe. There are a couple others also coming in as well, right? So they're going to cast Shatter in a 10-foot radius.
Okay.
What also trying to make sure they're not hurting the their allies.
I'll say what you could do is you could put this essentially right outside the door. That's where the bulk of
Yeah.
everybody is.
Yep, that's what he wants to do. Just get that, like a bowling ball and pins kind of situation here.
Absolutely.
I'll
give you an extra D8 of damage for that based on the positioning.
a 48 for me.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Okay, it's Constitution and
Con
16.
save. 16, all right. That's not going to do it. 7 plus 4. All right, so what does it look like as you cast Shatter?
Let me do the last. Just a like ringing. He starts like swinging his moonsicle and like claps into it so that it like rings out this echo like along the blade and like gets to the edge. That is 22 damage.
Yes, excellent. All right, you cast Shatter, and as you kind of make the moonsicle kind of reverberate with this magical energy, there's a pulse that happens just outside the door, and you see just like this crowd of maybe 10, 15 people just all kind of collapse, like grabbing their heads from the sound of it. Vesper, you're up.
Yeah. Has our friend in the sky, I know he was knocked off balance. Is he back around to make a pass, or has he?
Oh yes, no,
resurfaced?
that person's going to come back around to make a pass. I'm just going to say that.
Is he currently visible?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about anything going on in here. I'm gonna kill this bitch.
You used your gut.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
You used your bonus action to hide last time, correct?
I believe I did. Yes.
Then
Am I lying to you?
I believe you did. Don't quote me on that, but
I honestly can't remember.
Neither can I. Do you want to say that you did so you can get advantage?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna kill this bitch. Yeah, I'm also going to use, I don't know if I can do both of these or how it would work, but I do want to use the sharpshooter feat and take the -5 for a
Absolutely.
plus
You
10
can do
damage.
that. Sure, you can stack those.
So I am going to train my bow on this maniac on a broom and see if I can hit. So that's probably not going to do it. That is a 12 to hit.
Did you roll with advantage from being hidden?
No, I didn't. That's a 17 to hit.
That'll do it. This person does not have shield, which is on me. So go ahead and roll sneak attack plus 10 damage.
Oh, okay. So, 6.
You roll bow plus sneak attack plus 10 plus your dexterity modifier.
So that's already 20 because I rolled a 6. And
All right.
then extra 3.
Sneak attack. 23.
Plus 4. Plus 1. Plus 1. Yeah, so I rolled 6, and then I rolled a 6 on the die for my original hit.
So what's the total?
So 12, 22, 26?
26?
If I'm doing that right?
All right. What does it look like as you kill the wizard?
I want to just, he is, again, I think that there's this like pandemonium around him. I think that the other guards that are very much in like close range have had shatter cast on them, and they kind of like start to buckle and like hold their heads, and none of this matters to Vesper. this is a matter of protecting both home and family. He's always very just kind of like the epitome of like cold focus when he's on a job, but this is different for him. This is no matter how much screaming is going on around him or yelling or whatever, his eyes have not moved from this wizard from the minute that first fireball hit. And he simply takes a deep breath as he knocks his arrow, and as he lets loose, he kind of just gently exhales.
Sure. You fire off an arrow, and again, with a shot that must be for the history books. You take a knee, perch up by one of the holes that the crossbow men had placed, and fire off an arrow. You see it sail through the air and meet exactly where you know the wizard will be. You see the wind whipping past this figure as pushed back their black hood, and they're looking with a sort of wild-eyed, gleeful fury, arm pulled back, ready to just toss another fireball, burn this shit down. And you look, it's almost as if you make eye contact as you let that go. It hits this man square in the chest, and he almost looks surprised, and everything falls. His body just falls, hits the ground with an unceremonious thud. The broomstick careens careens out of control, hits the side of a building and shatters. For their part, the guard are incredibly demoralized by this development. And for everyone's part here, you just killed a wizard. This doesn't happen. Who knows what happens next? The guard go. They have been able to sort of right themselves from stumbling over the ball bearings, and they push further in. There are now maybe 15 of them inside this cramped space. It's getting very full. They're beginning to push their way past the little sort of kill box that y'all have created. Is anyone standing at the front here, being the kind of tank to catch everyone as they get to the end of the stacked tables?
Definitely not a tank, but I think I am technically at the front, like from where I'd made that shot. I think it was like
I imagined you kind of peeking around, but it didn't seem like you were posted up ready.
But I am at the front of the building for sure, because I had to make that shot somehow.
Yeah, I meant, are you like 5 to 10 feet back, ready to hit people as they get past the tables? It doesn't sound like anyone is, because Mozz made a ranged spell at the front. Abhishek just tossed a thing, and okay, so then Vesper, it is with no small amount of horror that you realize, oh shit, they're getting in, and the two people here to stem the tide are Crag and your sister. The guard are going to make their melee attacks. That's going to hit. That's going to hit.
Fuck!
That's going to hit. So we are 3d6 plus 9. Shit! 12, 13, 18 points of damage. So as the guards finally push through, they begin absolutely swinging wildly uncoordinated with their short swords, just trying to muscle through this huge fucking minotaur and his battle axe, and your sister kind of essentially acting as the guard to his flank with her parrying dagger and rapier. They work incredibly as a team, but even so, they're not able to just stem the tide of just people flooding in, and they take 18 total points of damage. I can do math. That was a guard. Vesper, no, Vesper, you just went. Kamar, you're up, I think.
Wait, I think I went before Vesper.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got
Wanna say
lost.
It's me.
I think I skipped the guard. I don't know. I'm sorry. Eris, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say it's me. Okay. How many guards would you say are, now that they're kind of like they're starting to pile in, how many would you say are kind of by the entrance near a chandelier?
10 to 15.
Sick,
Maybe
I'm cutting
specifically by a chandelier, maybe like 5.
Or yeah, or at least under one, at least under the one closer. Yeah, I'm cutting it.
Cool,
So
let's call that 2d10 damage and give them a dex save. Does that sound fair?
yeah, fair. Yeah,
All right, let's call it a dex save of 15. Is that fair?
agreeable. Yeah.
That's a 1! So go ahead and roll me 2d10 damage.
Cool. I'll use my.
I like your dice tonight.
I know, for real. 17.
Hell yeah! Let me knock that down off of their HP. All right, yeah, you sort of, I'll say you're able to like throw a dagger up at the rope, kind of holding this chandelier.
Yeah.
It cuts clean through, and it lands with a metallic crash and thud, and you just crush a couple of people under its weight. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Oh, absolutely. Oriad dice. I don't trust my Eris dice at the moment. And for good reason. Let's see. Double check what that is. Intimidation.
The building continues to burn around you. You have maybe 3 rounds or so before that becomes a real problem.
Okay. 18 on the intimidation.
18 on the intimidation roll. Okay. So I'm going to say, what is it like for all of y'all, broadly, as you begin to show that you're not to be fucked with? And you begin to give these folks some second thoughts. What is it like as the tide turns?
I think that maybe just on his countenance, having killed this wizard, Vesper is letting his anger show. Which is not, I don't think, particularly common for him. He's normally very, I think I said earlier, he doesn't have a lot of ego. He just kind of is very, just like a stoic person. I think he, like, is visibly, like, almost, I think, shaking with rage and ready to do something about it.
Kamar? Eris?
Kamar isn't doing anything new, but it's just like lots of deep puffs and breathing. They're holding like they had like a scroll of fireball that they've been just like itching to use, and they're like, not yet, damn it. But internally Zahir is just like screaming out like thought so. Like, you know, like finally like reveling in like this joy. But Kamar is just standing pretty still. If they're next to someone, they'll kind of like put their hands at their like at their waist and be like, yeah, you see what we can do?
As you do this, as you have this kind of split personality moment where you distinctly feel both Kamar and Zahir, you also distinctly feel a third presence. The angel of the presence is watching, learning. Eris, what's it like as shit begins to change?
As things begin to change, especially after having, just dropped a fucking chandelier on 5 of these guards, you can almost see her start to have a bit of fun with this, almost reveling in like this just power that she has over just, and just like just showmanship almost. Like she can like I think as like she approaches one of the guards, she just almost I can already imagine the comments that are going to be said about this. But you almost watch as she sort of just struts up to one of the guards that are just kind of pinned down by that chandelier and just places her boot on his chest and just looks at the others and just be like, almost like tauntingly inviting them to come closer with her rapiers, like wearing the most just psychotic smirk on her face that she can possibly give off.
As you do this, I realized what my mistake in the initiative order was. The allies now move forward.
That's what it was.
Crag and Grace, most predominantly, they are going to make a series of attacks before things really get out there. So that's going to be one hit. So this is going to be 1d8 plus 4. If I can find my d8. Not the worst. 6 points of damage. So Crag gives these wide sweeping swings of this black metal jagged great axe, but none of them seem to connect. But if anything, they seem to be crowd control. They seem to be pushing people back. They're scared to get in too close. And that is where Grace finds her angle. She kind of ducks beneath these wide, high swings that Crag is doing and just... She's not really killing anyone with these hits, but she's keeping him back and she's keeping him bleeding. It is at this point when something else happens. And this is broadly the end of this confrontation. You hear more rushing, more screaming, more chaos coming from the front into the crowd of people already pushing and bursting their way into this burning fucking building for no other purpose than to kill you. You don't quite see what's happening yet until you see the blade of a scythe swing around and just pull back and cut the head off of one of the guards. From there, it is complete chaos as you see a small group of red-robed, blank white masked figures come through and just cut and hack and carve through the guards of the Magisterium. Between your allies amongst the drow and the divers, your own abilities, and the worshippers of the Red Presence, you are able to make short work of the remaining guards in this little pillbox that you've created. What is it like as things wind down? The worshippers of the Red Presence don't particularly engage you. They nod at you over the corpses of the slain, but don't really make any effort to engage you in conversation. They seem to be here for one reason and one reason only: carnage. And they got it.
I'll let the others go first on this because I think Eris has some very deep thoughts regarding this.
The building continues to burn.
I'll go if Mozz doesn't.
Yeah, please
look
go.
Like you were gonna say something. Okay. It looked like you were sitting up, and I'm like,
It's something I would be concerned with, but I don't know if Kumar would with the people
That's fair.
downstairs. So that's
Okay.
right. Yeah. So
I'll go
please
first.
go ahead.
I think that this occurs. I think that Vesper is kind of doing his best to like clean up the stragglers of like the guards, and once that threat kind of passes, I think that his attention immediately turns to helping Grace and helping the rest of the allies maybe get out like through that trap door.
Absolutely. You did pretty well. No one died. You've got a few injuries. They don't seem like anything a good cleric or a good healing potion couldn't fix. You were, in the back of your mind, you know this to be true. You were lucky. That's all it was. That fucker had been better aiming at a fireball. Half of you might be dead. As you help the remaining drow civilians get underground into the basement to this mysterious place called the fucking shelf. You hear the muted cries of the inwebbed guards who are being cut down and slaughtered by the cultists of the Red Presence. What's next?
If there's
Let's-
anything
oh,
else,
sorry.
no, I'm just. If there's anything else to fight, Kamar will kind of stand in the front to kind of like hold back and let Vesper run to whatever. Pretty much like the last standing kind of thing, still holding it up. But that also depends on what Eris wants to do.
There's a brief moment in time when there is something left to fight, but that moment in time quickly expires as the only thing left to do is fire parting shots at the fleeing.
If they're already fleeing though, and everyone's trying to get rescued, they'll kind of shoot out like a couple Eldritch blasts.
Sure.
Okay,
Eris?
that's a 26 to hit, but
Oh,
that
26
just-
to hit, that'll do it, yeah. For sure. I'll
going
say,
on,
yeah,
dice. I love you.
you catch some, we won't even bother rolling damage. Like, you see some, like, random motherfucker, like, booking it out of here, taking aim with an Eldritch Blast, fire, you catch him, like, square in the back, and he just blasted forward a bit, falls face first, just crumples, doesn't get up.
He does a couple little like cackling and just like blows the smoke off of his guns, and then just like turns to Eris and just like and just pretty much like, did you see that? And that's what he would do before. If there's nothing else left, like if it's just helping people and that's and getting out, as soon as he does that, like the wrappings come out and you just see like Zahir kind of fall to the
Before that
ground.
happens, while you are still Kamar, as Zahir begins to emerge, you almost feel stopped as you just hear a voice in your mind speaking to Zahir. The angel of the presence just asks you, "What does this mean?"
He asked Kamar this.
Yes, Zahir.
Oh, Zahir doesn't know. He just kind of like shakes his head like, I have no idea. I have no idea. What? Wait, I have no idea what that means. And wait, and then realizes like he's probably like he's talking to himself. He's like, what? That's him. That's not me.
As you say these things, the wraps fall from your body and you're left answering into empty air. Eris?
I think as Eris sort of looks on with all the carnage that just occurred, it's almost she doesn't even catch like Kamar like showing off popping off with his Eldritch Blast. Like she doesn't even see him like turn back to her and sort of like you see that? Like she's almost just solely preoccupied on the followers of the Red Presence and just how much carnage they cause, but also just how accurate that vision she saw was. Because that, as something she just saw, like maybe what, I wouldn't say it's been like what, a few hours since that vision.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost downright disturbing how quick that vision turned out for her. Because like with visions, you normally get the feel like, okay, this is probably gonna happen like sometime in the future, maybe like a couple days, maybe weeks in the advance. No, this is a few hours, and that is frightening to her. Like how fast something that she saw in the future is coming to pass, and she doesn't take that as a good sign for things going forward. She doesn't like. She almost just wordlessly stares at the followers for almost like an extended brief moment before kind of snapping out of it and going around attending to people who need help and just booking it before getting out of there before the building just burns down on top of them.
As you help the last few remaining stragglers, allow me to share with you a perspective. In the hours after midnight, stories begin to spread through Zenith's darkest corners. They speak of the beloved, and how he appeared with followers wreathed in red mist, and how the magisterial guard fell before them. Some say he commanded devils. Others say he performed miracles. By dawn, a dozen versions of this tale will circulate, each more grandiose than the last. The Red Presence ensures that every telling ends the same way. He comes to free us from our limitations. And somewhere Caroline smiles. The Queen's Gambit played out exactly as planned. Every piece played with purpose, every conflict stoked with careful precision. After all, it was her whispers that guided blade to throat. She armed the resistance, influenced the zealots, and watched as her husband transformed from lovesick fool into living scripture. The revolution the king had planned for years begins tonight because Caroline decided it would. Each faction dancing to music that only she could hear. In the depths of the city, the king's fury simmers. His pieces move in shadow, while Caroline's move in plain sight. A dance he never agreed to, a tempo forced upon him. Messages flow through hidden channels, families disappear into darkness. Weapons change hands. He knows each death tonight strengthens only one position, hers. He knows his revolution has been hijacked for her purposes, yet he moves his pieces all the same, because the board is set and the game must be played. Above it all, powers beyond mortal comprehension turn their attention to Zenith. In temple halls and cloud dens, visions come more frequently now. Glimpses of what was and what might be. Some claim to see angels in their dreams, others whisper of devils in their prayers. But no one can say with certainty what forces truly watch the city, or what plans they hold as they wait for apocalypse. And that is the end of our session tonight. All right, y'all, I had a blast. For the audience, thanks for sticking around with us. And for the players, yeah, that was fun.
Oh.
We're going to go around, quickly give one last kind of name call. Who are we? Where can we be found on the internet? What else are we up to? And then we will hear some channel announcements from the Voice of God, aka Mare. And then I hope we will all have a lovely rest of our Thursday night, because I am already talking. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I have been your enthusiastic GM for the night. I cannot be found really anywhere else on the internet, and I love that for me. Yeah, that's all I got. I appear here sometimes. I run games. I play games, and yep.
I can probably go next. Hi everyone, my name is Abhishek. I have been playing Eris, aka sometimes Jess, aka sometimes other people that you may or may not have seen, or some may not see in the future. Who knows? You can find I'm a voice actor / JRPG AP performer. You can find me various channels. You can also find me on Twitter at neon_Raiden, at Twitter, same on Blue Sky. Please follow me on Blue Sky. I know the bird site is going downhill, so definitely reach out to me on Blue Sky more than X at the moment. Other places you can find me. We just recently dropped the last and the final episode for Caldera Heart, our Persona 5 or Void Heart Symphony inspired playthrough over on the Goblin Skates podcast. You can find that most places where you can find podcasts, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the works and such. Really into it. If you love P5, you're going to have an absolute blast, and it is easily one of my most favorite series I've ever recorded to date. So please do check it out. I do have another project coming up in sometime soon, but I cannot talk about it quite yet. So stay tuned for my socials for that.
I can go next. Hi, I'm Mozz, or Mozzarella here on Twitch, or it's Mozzarella anywhere else. I also do voice acting and run games over at Starcrawl RPG with my community, where we run games for new players and new GMs, veteran players and veteran GMs. Try to make that space a little bit more awesome. And try to have more BIPOC players at the table. So, yeah, if you like Veilguard, you could come and hang out with me while I play that game right now. I'm kind of obsessed. And if you like world building, that's usually happens on Sunday afternoons. But just like Abhishek said, I'm on Blue Skies. I don't want to be on that internet anymore, so definitely check us out there because it seems pretty cool and pretty nice, and less that. So, yeah.
All right, that leaves me. Hi, I'm Seth. I have been Vesper tonight. I'm gonna say you can't find me on the internet. I don't really want anybody to find me on the internet right now. Sorry. As far as other stuff I have going on, honestly, nothing. I just be here whenever we play doing this. But I do have a tendency to show up in other random one-shots on this channel almost exclusively. So I'll probably be around when other stuff gets announced and other casting calls become available. We've been informed that there are no announcements tonight, so we will not be hearing from God, I don't believe, but that's okay.
Oh man.
I know. We're gonna go ahead and sign off. So thank all of you so much for tuning in and joining us tonight. This has been super fun and only slightly traumatic, but that's just playing with Alex for you. I hope the rest of you have a great rest of your evening. Pet your pets, be good to each other, and we will see you next week.